someone coming in with that proactive attitude
Wow.
blows your mind away. And definitely it is notable to ourselves as well as hiring managers when you're able to really show that you've been paying attention to an organization and understand the bigger issues.
Welcome to Hired Not Fired by The Real Me. We help turn your human skills into superpowers, the skills AI can't replace, so you get noticed, get interviews, and get hired. Hi there. Welcome to this episode of Hired Not Fired. I'm Dr. Deb Samuels-Peretz, and I am excited to introduce this week's guest. I have Ashli White. Ashli works at the Allegheny County Department of Human Services in the greater Pittsburgh area, where she leads early career recruiting, program, and pipeline strategy. Welcome to the show, Ashli.
Thank you, Deb. So honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm really happy to have you join the show because we haven't heard yet from someone in the public sector. So I would love for our listeners to get a little insight into what it's like. Tell us a little bit more about the types of roles that you hire for in human services for Allegheny County.
Thanks, Deb. The opportunities are just as rich and just as vast as they are in private sector or the corporate world. So our roles range from software engineers, product managers, data analysts, data scientists, to those more traditional roles you may think of. So child caseworkers, social workers, to, roles that may not necessarily tie directly to our local government. They could be applied anywhere. It's a very wide range of opportunities that we have available.
Wow, yeah, it's a little bit of everything. So that's great to hear. Now, I hear you talk about pipeline strategy, right? And usually it starts with submitting a resume, hopefully getting the phone interview, the pre-screen, the interview. What about before the resume? I know that you do campus visits and there are all sorts of networking or other career fairs. So, what helps someone make a strong first impression at one of those events?
Yeah, great question. So, for all the groups that you just mentioned, whether you're a student, you just graduated, or you've been in the field for a while, first and foremost, show up. I know a lot of people, they hear any type of what, I have to go around and talk to strangers. You'll hear me say this probably multiple times, step out of your comfort zone. So first and foremost, actually that second most is show up. First and foremost is do your research. So before
Mhm.
any type of fair or conference, they're going to release what employers are going to be there. Take your time and do your due diligence in regards to research. So you're having more meaningful discussions whenever you do meet with representatives. So that's
Mhm.
understanding what is their mission, who are they serving, what is their client base. If you're somebody who's kind of more established in your career, or you absolutely know what you want to do, make sure you understand the basics of how they make money. How do they, where are there potential ways they can lose money? Have a good understanding of the organization through your research so that you can have deeper, more meaningful conversations.
That's great advice. So let me ask for the flip side of that. What are some of the mistakes that you see students make in these early conversations with employers?
Again, I will say it's not just students. I see it with professionals too, as they show up, but then they're very timid. They kind of, walk around the room, they're just observing, they're waiting for the representative to make the first move or start the conversation.
Mhm.
No, no, no. Again, if going and talking to strangers is not, naturally your bag,
Mhm.
you need to kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone. If asking just very basic questions, or the one question that I really, really, really dislike is, can you tell me about what opportunities you have? Just like open, not specific, just like what
Mhm.
opportunity? It's like, okay, this person didn't take the time to go to the website. And, I probably more times than we'd like to say. If you ask a general question like that, it'll be, you can go and review our website, or, here's our QR code, go to the website. So that's a wasted opportunity because, if on your side, if you didn't take the time to research, it's signaling you're not that interested in us. And on our
Mhm.
side, probably won't remember your name or anything else if you don't have something
Yeah.
that intentionally brought to the conversation.
All right. So that's great. So stay away from vague questions that are easily answered on the internet. Can you give us a couple of examples of some good questions that, make you that impress you?
Absolutely. So finding an initiative that an organization is doing that interests you or aligns with your specific, your value system, your skill sets, your interest, that is always just something dynamic, something that is exceptional. And I've probably only seen a handful of times is if someone sees something, an initiative we've done, or just something that's come out, and they have kind of their thoughts on, oh, and I have this idea on how it could expand or be improved, or have you guys thought of this? Like someone coming in with that proactive attitude
Wow.
blows your mind away. And definitely it is notable to ourselves as well as hiring managers when you're able to really show that you've been paying attention to an organization and understand the bigger issues. I would also say is, again, going back to intention about, what opportunities do you have in data analytics specifically, or what opportunities do you have that related to behavioral health of something in human
Hmm.
services, as opposed to just, oh, are you guys hiring? What's out there? Because again,
Hmm.
you just want to show that you know what you're looking for, and you do have some sense of an idea of what we have to offer.
That's great advice. Now let's move along in the pipeline. Let's go to the resume stage. They've submitted a resume. Where do resumes often they miss the mark for early career candidates?
I think starting at the very like rudimentary factors of don't leave any guessing room. So that's having your graduation year very clear. Are you getting your bachelor's? Are you getting your master's? What is your major? What is your GPA? Yes, we do advise certain organizations will not accept below a certain GPA. And then it really depends on the organization. So I know for our roles, whenever our recruiters are looking at resumes, they want to see leadership experience. They want to see that you're doing things beyond the classroom, whether that's volunteerism, a student job, whatever the case is, sports. We just want to see that, you have interest outside of just class.
I know that you're going to come back for a second episode, and we're going to dig a little more deeply into how new grads or students can leverage the experience that they do have. So let's jump over to the next stop in the pipeline, the phone screen. What are employers looking for in that first formal conversation?
So again, it depends on the industry and the organization. So if you're looking at using financial services as an example, they're often onboarding hundreds of folks at a time during different periods of the year. So a lot of times that phone screen is just going to be like a qualifying call. Can you verify that, you're graduating this year, that you've taken these courses, you have this skill set, that type of thing. And then if you match all of those requirements, then you move forward. With our screens, because given kind of the sensitive nature of our work in human services, even if
Mhm.
you're someone like me, obviously I'm not a frontline worker, but it still is important that I'm keeping in mind in all of my work the folks that we're serving and how we want to show up in the community. So I would say our phone screens are just as much of a skills check as it is a culture check. So, are they able to hold a conversation? Are they able to, explain kind of the different steps that they've taken, whether it's like they volunteered at something or even how they picked their major?
So, with the phone screen, what have you found tends to hurt applicants during the phone screen?
I would say if it's just like a cold call, if we're just calling you and it's like, oh, hey, do you have 5 minutes? You're going to get considerably more grace than like it's scheduled. If it's scheduled, like there's a set time,
Mhm.
there is the expectation of what you would want for a scheduled interview. So it's like, okay, they found a quiet place that we can talk. If we have a scheduled interview and you're out on the street and we can hear everything in the background, it's kind of like, oh, okay, what is going on?
Good point.
I think, maybe being a little bit too casual. Some folks just see the phone screen as like, whatever, I just have to get through. This is a technicality. I'll really
Mhm.
like put my best self forward to like the important people. That's always a red flag. And if you don't respect every step of the experience, you're not going to make it to the people who make the decisions. So I would say just those are things to keep in mind.
Wow, this is great insider advice. Thank you. And my last question is for students who feel overlooked or discouraged, what would you want them to remember?
I would want them to remember one, they're in the majority. I think it's very easy to get sucked into kind of what the cliche is now of the highlight reel where everyone's posting, I got this job and I got this and I got this bonus and da 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 da. The vast majority of folks, and always have been, because I know I struggled right after undergrad, is, it's you get out there, it's tough. It's very tough. So one, don't get discouraged. You're not in it alone. And two, I would say seek constructive criticism. So that means going to your career service centers, going to mock interviews, going to resume reviews. Seek every free resource that's out of there. If you're out of school and you don't have access to those types of things, almost every major library, they have those sources within their business and learning resource centers or whatever it's called in your respective location.
Mhm.
There's a ton of free resources out there, and I definitely encourage you to seek them, but always ask for feedback in regards to, why you didn't get a call back or, whatever the case may be.
That's great advice. Thank you so much. And just to let folks know, Ashley will be coming back for another episode, and we're going to talk more about how you can leverage the experience you already have. So look out for that next episode. Ashley, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Deb.